Black Dog Hunting's mission is to connect and heal veterans through the outdoors while providing an environment of peer-based mentoring and counseling. We do this across the country through 3 programs: hunting, fishing, and a social program, each focused on peer-based experiences connecting veterans in the outdoors.
Black Dog Hunting was founded by military veterans on the idea that veterans, like many other groups within our society, better open themselves when they're surrounded by their peers. The black dog is an old world metaphor made famous by Sir Winston Churchill in describing his own struggles with ill mood and depression. Although not widely known in the US, the metaphor is used widely in other parts of the world, including Europe and places like Australia. We use this metaphor to champion a cause of veterans' mental health, in that the dog can be worked and controlled. So I served in the United States Marine Corps from 2000 to 2005. I ended up serving as a military policeman for 1 year, Camp Fuji, Japan. And then I went and did MSG duty, served to be billed as a Marine Security Guard in the American Consulate, Karachi, Pakistan, and the American Embassy in Copenhagen, Denmark.
In 2015, I joined the Marine Corps immediately after high school. Joined as an infantryman, and I went into security forces in Bangor, Washington. And I was there for about 4 years before getting medically separated for degenerative disc disease.
I've done those too. I don't think my fingers are.
I served in the United States Marine Corps from 2013 to 2018. Started out first 2 years as a security forces in the Pacific Northwest, guarding nuclear submarines. Then transitioned over to Victor 27 2nd Battalion South Marines. Did a workup with them, deployed to the Middle East, did a majority of my time in Kuwait, and spent the last month or so in Syria, conducting ops with weapons company over there and some special forces guys from every branch you could probably name.
My name is Roy Geberth, and I actually served in 2 armed forces. Right out of high school, I enlisted in the Air Force and served for 4 years as an avionics technician in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Following my first enlistment, I got out of the Air Force, which I enjoyed, and went to college. I found after entering college I really missed the military, and I was able to connect with some of the students who were veterans from the different services, and we would spend time together in study groups and so on. I found I was better able to relate to people who were a little older than the 18-year-old typical college student. During my 3rd year, I became aware of the opportunity to join the Air National Guard, which gave me a chance to get back in uniform, and really was a good experience for me. It gave me a little extra money and allowed me to get back in uniform for a little bit. Following that, after I graduated, I joined the Navy as a surface warfare officer, where I served for 21 years.
My name is Elisha Daniel Young. I served in the United States Army. Served from 2003 to 2010. What got me interested in the service was I have a family background serving, but 9/11 was a huge impact. on why I joined. I wanted to be a part of the solution. I wanted to, make my family proud and defend our country and do anything I could to support the cause and be a part of the patriotic, emotional situation that occurred after that huge event. I feel like my generation was drawn into a situation that they weren't necessarily looking for, but rose to the occasion for. Maybe not necessarily to the level of World War II veterans, but I feel like we're a close second based on the situation that happened and the reason that we all decided to join and serve and be a part of the military history that makes this country, the United States, great.
My name is Dylan Davis. I served in the United States Marine Corps for 5 years as a sergeant. I actually started in the Marine Corps when I was 21. I got into it because I didn't know what exactly I was going to do. I was kind of at a point where I lost some family members and I just didn't know what was going to go on with my life, and I needed change. I needed to get out of town, and that was the best thing for me, and I don't regret it to this day.
Michael Schallenbach. I was a Master Gunner Sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I served 20 years, 11 months and 8 days. Mostly East Coast, overseas, one deployment on ship.
I do have an opportunity to get together with other veterans. I think primarily just because founding this organization, founding Black Dog Hunting, it gives me an opportunity to do that, and that's something that I've kind of wanted to do, but I didn't really know how to. But I do strive to try to connect with other veterans. But through Black Dog Hunting, it kind of feeds into that for me.
So after I got out, my main source of veteran camaraderie was from my father's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy named Triton Fight Center. I sometimes go there about 2 to 3 times a week, and I connect with other veterans who suffer through PTSD and depression, anxiety, and they cope with that through martial arts. I also hang out with my friend Austin, who also went through the program at Falco through Black Dog Hunting.
At the moment, I'm not involved in any activity with any other veterans. That's why I kind of reached out to this group here and to get me more involved with other Marines and other branches in the military.
When I finally did retire, I really felt lost for the first year and a half. 25 years in uniform is what I knew, and I had a hard time adjusting.
So I was introduced to waterfowl hunting in 2017. And I really saw it as an experience to share. I saw that, the cathartic experience it could be. So kind of in my drive to get veterans together, I thought, what better place than through a nonprofit? So started black dog hunting as the nexus for the organization. Quickly realized that there were other programs we can incorporate. The waterfowl season only runs from September to February. But so we created the hunting program, and we also created a fishing program and a social program. In researching the organization and the name and coming up with a name, Black Dog is kind of dual-hatted, and then it's a metaphor for mental health, which was, a benefit for us as an organization, because that really was speaking to what we wanted to do. I use the role we, but what I wanted to create.
One thing from taking an 18-year-old PFC to a 23-year-old sergeant who thinks he's got it figured out, doing his stuff right, and getting into the civilian world where a majority of people just don't give a shit. It's tough. Luckily, I had a support system, my beautiful wife, and my religion that helped get me through, but really it was that first black dog hunting event last year was kind of the tipping point, because I was struggling. I've had 3 buddies commit suicide since the last time I was in. One was my squad leader. The other one I was the squad leader of, and the other one I grew up in the same town. And I don't know, it's hard not that I'm, obviously my religion is obviously against that, but it's hard not to have those thoughts in your head when you feel alone. And that's kind of a big thing I think black dog hunting has showed me, is like brotherhood is still achievable in the civilian world. Being veterans doesn't mean you're done having that brotherhood. And that's kind of a big thing that helped me along that journey of healing. Yeah.
I'd say the main thing that I miss about the service is certainly the camaraderie and having a shoulder to lean on when you're not necessarily as close to your family or your biological family that you would normally be.
What I would say to the younger people, you'll eventually will evolve that probably your friends will turn out to be veterans, because those are the people you really have a bond with and who understand the language regardless of the service they served in. There's a bond that goes through with people who went through their ritual, whatever service it was, and there's a trust that I think is inherently there.
There's a common denominator between us, regardless of what service that you served in. Like Roy said, we all kind of went through the ceremonial initiation that the military puts you through in the beginning. And we all gave each other a hard time based upon services and MOSs and whatnot. But in the grand scheme of things, we're all the same. We all serve together. We're all brothers, and we'll all do anything that we can for each other to, help out in their time of need. And I want the people that I've met this weekend to know that anytime that they need something, or they're feeling down, or having a hard time with anything, that I hope that they feel comfortable, contacting me and speaking to me about it, and that we can work through it.
So missing my time in the military, I think that with military service comes some forms of camaraderie, brotherhood. You're definitely held to a higher standard. I think a lot of people do miss that, but I think that now as civilians, even though we're veterans, we try to find that in other places. There's been some comments about even who we choose to socialize with. And as military veterans, we almost choose to socialize with other military veterans because we know and we appreciate that they're going to kind of come, not necessarily the same baggage, but they're going to come with the same tool set that we have. And they're going to address and interact with situations and problems and analyze them the same way I would.
But it's not just about, killing ducks like we've said all this weekend. It's about guys being into the same thing. It's about using waterfowling as a vessel to just get with guys that are on the same page as you and talk about stuff that everyone's kind of going through.
So before last year, I've never gone hunting in my entire life. Growing up, my father was focused on doing martial arts. So I've done that since I was 4 years old. And then last year after I got out, Austin reached out to me and wondered if I wanted to start going duck hunting, and that was during the late season, December of 2019. Since then I found a passion with doing hunting and spending time with other veterans, specifically Austin.
At times I do miss the Marine Corps. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the friends that I made while the time I was in, and it's kind of difficult at times though because they're so far away, they're out of state. And I'm in Oklahoma, say they're on the East Coast or the West Coast, and the only way we can keep in contact is through social media, but we're also busy, so it's kind of hard to get in contact with each other. I do miss that.
I mostly miss the Marines, you know, your fellow service Marines or service members, my young Marines. I miss them. I miss being able to see them grow, you know, watch them do their job, and kind of be there, right? So like when you're a staff NCO or master guns, you know, people call you in the middle of the night and they have an issue, right? Or they'll call their gunny or wherever you are in the chain, you know, they call you because they need you and they need your help. It may be the simplest of things. So I miss that part. I don't necessarily miss some of the other stuff in the military that, not that it's bad. It's just, you know, I don't miss moving, you know. I don't miss moving every 2 years or every 3 years. I moved over 9 times in 20 years, from overseas and back, and then back to overseas. I don't miss, you know, some of the disciplinary issues that you have, or, you know, kind of the craziness. But I miss my fellow Marines, absolutely.
I have never been to a lodge like this before. So we're at Honey Break right now in Jonesville, Louisiana, and it is absolutely amazing.
No, I've never had an experience of, you know, hunting with an outfitter or with a veteran organization. So this is all new, but this is the highlight. I mean, if you can come to Honey Break or any other outfitter, I'm sure, but I mean, this place is just amazing.
So I've been here at Honey Break for about a day and a half now, and the biggest impact that I've had so far was meeting everybody here, getting to know each other, and it's honestly, I don't know anybody here, but I feel like I've known these people for so long because we've had so much in common. Even though we served at different times, we can relate. We've been to same bases. We have so much in common. It's just unreal, and it's like I'm picking up where I left off with someone I don't even know.
Hands down, the best trip, or the best part, is spending time with fellow veterans, socializing, telling stories, getting back into the military mindset, as far as just being yourself and being who you are.
This is an amazing place. I probably would not have been able to have an opportunity like this unless it was through black dog hunting.
I do find it easier to open up when I'm surrounded by my peers, by people with similar experiences. There's not a get to know you period, right? I think that within minutes, we know that we have shared experiences, we know that we are relatable, and we know that when we talk a certain way, whether that's, you know, sometimes it's a dark humor, or sometimes it's inter-service rivalry joking or something like that. Whenever we talk that way, it's easier to do because I'm in my peer group. I've equated it before to, you know, when girls get together and they have a girls' night out, the girls are going to talk a certain way amongst their girlfriends that they might not talk when they're surrounded with their spouses or their male counterparts. I think veterans are the same way. It's a social group that has shared experiences, and they're going to open up and talk a certain way that they might not in front of people who don't have those similar experiences.
So I've made some friends in the outside civilians, and you kind of got to watch your tongue. You can't really express yourself because in the military it's more of a dark sense of humor, and you really can't say or act how you have been for the past 5 years, 4 years, however long you've been in. So it is different once you get around your military friends or someone that you know in the military, because you just have a different way of thinking. You talk, you act a different way when you're around someone else because you've been through the same thing they have, or to a certain point you have. But it's just a different mentality that they've been through the same thing you have.
Getting together with veterans in an environment like this, hunting, or even just the social aspect of it in the evenings, it's a reminder of what military was like. We showed up yesterday to honey break, we checked in, and from the time that people got out, fellow service members or veterans got out of the car, we were instant friends. Picking on each other, helping each other out. Guys were helping each other assemble their shotguns, getting their gear ready. You can't find that in the civilian world, where your past experience or just that common bond. Most of us here are all Marines, so we're all united. We're all brothers instantly. But even we got Navy, we have Army. One was split, Army, Air Force, Air Force and Navy. It's amazing. It's truly what I've been missing, right? Is connecting back with your fellow veterans, and it's very helpful. We sat around last night talking next to the fireplace. Guys were talking about their experience getting out. Some have been out longer, and you pick up on little tips that wow, he's thought the same thing. He's thought through and gone through the exact same thing I'm doing in a year and 9 months of getting out. So it's refreshing to hear somebody that has already gone through it, and just another roadblock, just another stepping stone to me transitioning. And now I've got 8 other guys that I can lean on if I need them. Guaranteed after this trip I can call any of these guys, and they'll pick up the phone and they'll tell me, hey, here's what I did, or here's how you get through it. And you just can't find that. You can't find that in the civilian world.
I'll tell them what I told the 2 guys that came with us this year. It's going to be an awesome facility. It's going to be good hunting, but it's going to be, especially with veterans, all I really need to see is going to be with a bunch of guys, a bunch of veterans, and most guys will wrap their heads around that. It's like, okay. And I think that, like I said before, it kind of just opens up a shell. Because if I told the dude, hey, we're going to a lodge in Louisiana with a bunch of people there, it's one thing. But if you say, hey, we're going to a lodge with 10 vets, that kind of opens up the thing for veterans. I think that kind of peels back the first layer, and then once you get here, the rest will kind of manifest itself. But yeah, absolutely. I do almost every chance I get, I recommend black hawk hunting. It's huge.
As someone who had never been hunting in my entire life before last year, I would let them know that the doors are basically open to them, no matter what experience that they are, and that even though that this deal is too good to be true, it essentially isn't for veterans like you and me.
I definitely think if you're a veteran out in the civilian world, whether you've transitioned 2 days ago or 20 years ago, reach out. There's guys that are probably going through the exact same thing you are, or have gone through it, that are in a part of the organization that can help you out. The opportunities, obviously, we came to Honey Break Lodge for this 3-day hunt, are endless. I've seen black dog hunting do fishing, social, and hunting events, and you can't find that elsewhere, right? So if you want your connection back to the Marines or your military service, obviously you can't put your uniform back on, but this is about as close as you can get.
I would absolutely recommend that they look into outdoor activities with black dog hunting, and not only black dog hunting, but other opportunities with veterans. And this is a wonderful organization that's getting started, and my first experience with them, but as a retired person, I'm going to try to get more involved with black dog hunting so that I might help others behind me learn about it and maybe help the organization grow, because I think it's a very worthwhile endeavor, and I'd like to get involved myself.
So I was on Facebook, I was on a Duck Hunters of Oklahoma page, and I wasn't expecting to find anything. I was just trying to find people who were into duck hunting just like I was, and trying to find different spots in Oklahoma to hunt. And I came across black dog hunting, and they're saying, hey, we're looking for veterans, come hunt. And I seemed kind of I was skeptical at first, but you know, the more I looked into it, the more I thought about it. I was like, you know what, this is something I should look into. So I sent some messages, and we talked back and forth. And I put it off at first, and I missed the first hunt. And then a buddy I knew went on the hunt, and he told me about it. He said, hey, you have to go, you have to go. And so I ended up coming to this hunt here at Honey Break, and I don't regret it at all. I would do it again in a heartbeat if I could. And I would say to everybody else that's out there, don't hesitate. If you have questions, ask. If you have second thoughts, just go with it.
So I just want to say thank you to Black Dog Hunting and to Honey Break Lodge for, you know, allowing us to come here and spend time together, and to have fellowship and share experiences, and again let each other know that, you know, we're all brothers in arms, and we can always be here for each other. And if you're ever feeling down and out, just please reach out to one of us, and let's end the statistic of 22 a day.